Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 14th of March, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the Australian government will spend up to $368 billion over the next 3 decades to buy, build, operate and maintain a fleet of 8 nuclear-powered submarines. The first new subs will be delivered in about 20 years' time. The next generation submarine, the SSN AUKUS, is a new conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarine based on a British design, incorporating cutting-edge Australian, UK and US technologies. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said they'll not carry nuclear weapons. Now, under a 3-step path announced this morning, beginning in 2027, the US and UK will establish Submarine Rotational Force West at Perth's Naval Base, with 1 UK submarine and up to 4 US subs operating from there. By the early 2030s, Australia will buy at least 3 Virginia-class submarines. Meanwhile, construction will get underway in Adelaide in the latter part of this decade on the first dedicated AUKUS-class boat. Construction is expected to take 12 to 14 years, with the first submarine to be completed in the early 2040s. It's the biggest defence procurement in Australia's history and will become the 7th country to operate a nuclear-powered submarine. A very, very big announcement, that one. Story number 2, the S&P ASX 200 closed the day down 1.4% today to 7,009 points, though for most of the day it traded under the 7,000-point mark. Tech stocks were sold off hard. Market leader WiseTech fell nearly 3%, while 2 of the worst performers in the ASX 200 were BrainChip Holdings and Computershare. Energy stocks took a hammering after the price of oil tumbled to levels last seen late last year. BHP and Fortescue both fell nearly 2%, and they had plenty of friends. Diversified miner South32, QBE Insurance, and gaming manufacturer Aristocrat Leisure all lost plenty of ground. Once again, the big winners were the gold stocks as people rushed to the safety of the precious metal. Gold is trading back above $1,900 an ounce, and that helps stocks like Newcrest Mining, Northern Star, Silver Lake Resources, Ramelius Resources, and Perseus Mining. Story number 3, consumer sentiment is very, very weak for the second consecutive month. The Westpac Melbourne Institute Index, released today, has come in at 78.5 points. Now, readings below 80 points are very rare. In fact, they haven't been recorded since the early 1990s. But now the survey's had 2 months in a row of sub-80 readings. One of the most watched survey responses is to the question of whether now's a good time to buy a household appliance. The index on that is at its lowest level in the near 50-year history of the survey. Mostly it comes down to interest rates. Consumers want an end to rate hikes. On the flip side, business conditions remain very strong despite inflation and interest rate hikes. But business confidence has taken a tumble. That's according to the National Australia Bank survey. Story number 4, Australia's Newcrest Mining and Suter Newmont Corp have agreed to terms for a round of early-stage takeover talks, ending a 4-week standoff that's threatened to spoil the $20 billion plus deal. The Financial Review is reporting that Denver-based Newmont settled on the all-important non-disclosure and standstill agreements in recent days, paving the way for the two groups to meet for the first time since Newcrest rejected the $22.4 billion takeover offer. The mini breakthrough comes less than a week after Newcrest interim CEO Sherry Du said the two companies and their lawyers were still working on the terms of the engagement. And finally, story number 5. On Wall Street's first trading day after the collapse and rescue of Silicon Valley banks, US regional lenders were sold off incredibly harshly by investors overnight, with the share price of First Republic, which is the 14th largest bank in the US, at one point falling almost 80%. Incredible. The leading index for regional banks was down more than 10% during the session before trading was halted in a number of stocks. First Republic later resumed trading and its share recovered somewhat, but it's still down 62%. Of course, that's all on the back of the failure of Silicon Valley Bank. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 14th of March, 2023. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Wednesday edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.